Question number 3 is about a 6-year-old boy who hates getting his hands dirty. He constantly needs to get his hands washed. That's true whether it's crayons, paint, or he's eating something and his hands get sticky from eating it. Or even the things that he likes eating, he'll need to wash his hands after eating 1 or 2 cookies because he doesn't like the sensation. Even going to the beach, apparently, when he plays with sand or those kind of things, he can only play for a very short period of time before he wants to go back and wash up. This is actually a very common problem that a lot of kids have. You know, my son, who is extremely clean, was very similar to that. You know, even if we went to the park and he wouldn't want to touch the sand. You know, we would put him over the sand and he'll curl his feet up, not wanting to touch the sand. So it's a common problem for a lot of kids, and especially with a lot of the kids that I work with. We treat this in the same way that we treat waiting, okay? So what that means is that we start with a short time frame and then we increase the time frame as they tolerate it for longer and longer periods of time. So in this instance, we would intentionally expose the child to having their hands dirty, and then they have to wait for a certain period of time before we allow them to wash their hands. And as they get better and better, we're extending the time that they have to wait before they can wash their hands. That's what you're looking at doing, is setting up these situations where you intentionally have his hands be dirty, whether it's eating something, whether it's playing with something, and then the child has to hold off from a period of time before you let them wash their hands. The most important thing is figuring out in the beginning how much time you're gonna allow the child, okay? And you want to allow enough time so that they get a taste of success, which means that, oh, you can reinforce them for waiting nicely. Oh, great job waiting. Okay, let's go wash your hands, where they can do it successfully at the beginning. And then once they are consistent at that time level, then you have to increase that time level. And you're going to increase it and increase it and increase it to include larger and larger time frames until they can tolerate these type of situations without needing to immediately go and need to wash their hands. We have kids that have a ton of different tolerance related issues. You know, they can't wait for things. They don't like their hands being dirty. They only eat certain types of foods, or are restricted in terms of like, oh, what they want to wear and what they want. And we target all of those kind of things, because at the end of the day, the more flexible the child is, the more happy they're going to be. The more rigid they are, the less happy they are going to be. And so we have to work on their flexibility so that they can tolerate a wider array of situations.